shout out to the Krabby Step.
Shout out to the Krabby Step.
Shout out to the Krabby Patty Pizza. Is the pizza for you and me.
Genuinely, Sway Lee had a good verse on that song.
I forgot it dropped. I didn't listen to it. I wasn't in a rush to listen to the Krabby Step, if you're shocked.
Oh, my.
I got forced into listening to it.
By me?
Yeah.
Was it last night?
It wasn't last night. It was the night before.
I don't really remember last night too well.
Yeah, I can tell.
That's funny as shit, though.
Alright, so we'll just start off with like some basic questions. Like, where are you guys from?
I'm from Wyoming. Like, I'm from the biggest city in Wyoming, Cheyenne. It's weird, dude. It's like the weirdest fucking place. It's like Midwestern, but also really Western. And it's also like Southwestern. I don't know how to explain it. It's like just weird.
Cowboy town.
Yeah, it's just a cowboy town.
I feel
You
like
live-
Lost stoners and junkies.
That sounds accurate from what you told me.
Oh yeah.
I live in West Virginia, and I live in the panhandle of West Virginia, the eastern panhandle. So I'm basically fake West Virginian. I'm from an area that's closer to Maryland and Virginia than I am. Like, I guess if any part's considered the DMV in West Virginia, it's that part.
gotcha.
Yeah, there's equally a good amount of rednecks and junkies here.
Yeah, it's insane because I've only been living down in the South for like 2 months, and I can't believe that there's people who actually have like the big belt buckles and they come in wearing the cowboy hat like unironically.
Yeah.
They come into work like, table for 4, please. I'm like, this isn't a costume party, but whatever.
Bro,
I see that shit all the time, bro.
It's insane.
I've never been that south. I just went to Tennessee for the first time.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
It was Bristol, bro. It was so pretty.
That's nice.
I
I've
feel
never been
like-
down there.
I feel like my town is a lot like Texas, bro, because it's just like every Texan I've heard from, they tell me what Texas is like. I'm like, oh, that's like here, but less bad.
Yeah.
Because at least you have fucking cities.
Yeah, it's just less severity of a redneck.
Oh, it's so rural here, dude. Like, it's a city still. But, like, you drive 3 miles and all you see is fucking plains.
But I'm telling you that when I drive to go to the skate park, there's like one house for like every 40 acres. Like, it's insane. Just massive houses. And it's not even a farm. It's just like one house in the middle of this huge field. And I'm like, well,
That feels like some slave driver shit.
I am in Tennessee. It's not like they were part of the Confederate. They fly that flag down here. It's scary.
My brother lived in Tennessee for a little bit. He's like, yeah, I swear to God, this guy wasn't trying to invite me to a KKK meeting. I think he was trying to kill me.
But it's insane.
Bro, there's apparently KKK members here. There's a white supremacy group that brought out the castle here because we have a castle in our town, and it's like one of the only like really cool things about our town that like I forget about. It's like, oh yeah, we have a castle. I forgot about that. And then like, bro, I can't believe those white supremacists bought it for like millions of dollars.
Like full castle, like with a moat out front and like a drawbridge, or like.
Not even a moat. I think it might have a drawbridge. I've taken pictures of it, but there's no moat. There's a bunch of gargoyles.
Oh shit, that's crazy. That's so funny. Well, not funny that the white supremacists bought it, but the idea behind the castle is hilarious.
Our town's in Fallout 76.
Oh,
Like, the
really?
castle's there.
That's so funny. I had no idea.
What's funny is I'm just from a town. I'm not even from a city. Like, we're just a Civil War town, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
hmm
What did you guys listening to growing up?
Do you want to do this one, Ian?
I think how I'm more comfortable doing it is like the rhythm of you going first.
Okay, I get it. So me growing up, both my parents are like really into music. Like they don't really make music like I do, you know, but like they're into it like a lot. So like growing up, like, I just heard, like, fucking everything. Like, I'm from Wyoming, so I've heard a lot of fucking country shit. A lot of, like, classic rock, you know, pop punk shit from my mom. You know, my dad, like, all this rap shit, you know, like, old school rap from the 90s, like, all that crunk shit from the 2000s. So I just grew up basically, like, listening to everything.
I guess for me, in terms of what I heard growing up, a lot of it was honestly influenced. Like, okay, my first experience to a lot of music was probably through video game soundtracks. So the Tony Hawk soundtrack, there's a lot of rap and a lot of pop punk on there, and the GTA soundtracks, especially the Vice City soundtrack. That's so crazy to me. Just like what songs they were able to get on the radio at GTA.
Oh, yeah.
Like, blows my mind. Like they
GTA
got
5 soundtrack is perfect, bro.
yes, especially with how many like collabs they're able to like official collabs for the game. They're able to get.
GTA 5 was great. That's definitely when I started like getting into music myself, was through GTA 5 and shit. And like Saints Row, just video game soundtracks.
I think when I started getting into music and like exploring music on my own was around 6th grade. Whenever I got a Spotify, my brother showed me a Meek Mill song, and I was like, bro, who is this? And he goes, Meek Mill. And I just got a Spotify, and I was like, dude. That's how I started really enjoying music.
I feel that. I'm the same way, though, because I would just YouTube stuff, but when I got a Spotify, it was like a game changer, because I was like, this is like the whole discography is like right in front of me. It was so crazy.
Yeah, I was genuinely like, bro, like I didn't know that fake songs were a thing until Spotify came out. I was like listening to Cutting Crew Died in Your Arm remix with an Eminem verse slapped over it, and it's like, and like a Wayne verse, and then I'm like, bro, that's not a real song.
Like I grew up like in 6th grade, like I had a Spotify account, but it's not like I really discovered music there. What we used to do in my 6th grade class to listen to music, because it was before anyone really used SoundCloud, so I was like the only person in 6th grade using SoundCloud. But we used to use this website called Django, and it was like low class Pandora, and there was so much shit on there. Like they didn't even. It's difficult though because like they didn't update some of the smaller artists. Like I was bumping like early Tyler the Creator and Girl. I had no idea Earl Sweatshirt had 2 more albums besides his mixtape until like 2015. When I looked him up, I'm like, oh shit, he has more albums. What?
The internet is it's so crazy how much music, because I was a big DatPiff kid, so I was on DatPiff like every day, like just downloading like random mixtapes and all that. The internet it's such a crazy place. It's insane that there's so much music on there.
I used to be a mixtape monkey like that, just downloading all the random shit.
Live mixtapes, all of them.
Mixtape monkey, dude. I remember downloading stuff from Chance the Rapper before he was like just Chance the Rapper. I think it was when him and Justin were doing like instrumentality back in, like, my freshman year, just downloading early Chance the Rapper stuff.
Wow.
Right.
DatPiff needs more love, honestly.
Facts. DatPiff is like very important for the culture.
It's insane. Because when I was going to school for music business stuff, I would be talking to some of the kids, and I was like, yeah, I got into it like going on DatPiff, and they're like, what's DatPiff? And I'm like, you want to work in music and you don't know what DatPiff is? I was like, maybe you should pick something else.
That's crazy.
It's wild how many, like, okay, the generational gaps in terms of, like, I don't know, artists that people listen to now as opposed to, and it doesn't even seem like it should be that big of a deal, but artists who I kind of grew up listening to or were in their prime whenever I was in school, like when Cudi was starting to blow up, or when like Wiz Khalifa was starting to blow up, or Mac Miller and Chance, like around middle school years compared to like now, people don't really like fuck with those artists that are that age, and I understand that, but like I don't know, it's just weird how the generational gap is.
I feel it's kind of like showing your age a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I'm only a couple years. It's like crazy because like I'm a senior in high school now, but these freshmen are wearing like Odd Future shirts, and they don't even know what Odd Future was. It blows my fuck up because they're listening to Tyler the Creator too. Like they bump Igor and Flower Boy shit, but they don't know that's Odd Future.
like my sister, Lily, she has an Odd Future shirt, and I was like, "Who's your favorite Odd Future member?" Just genuinely asking her, and she goes, "What?" And I was like, "You're wearing an Odd Future shirt." She goes, "Oh," so like I understand people are into fashion, and I don't have like a big deal with like.
Oh yeah, me neither.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's just a crazy thing to think about. Honestly, it's not. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah, it's like
fake fan.
Odd
Like I'm not that
Future-
guy.
It's always an
Future
awkward
went from-
conversation, though.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
It's like Odd Future went from this like rap collective that like inspired me to just take control of my life at like a very formative young age for myself. And it's just like a t-shirt in zoomies to people now. It's just crazy to think about.
It's insane. But how did you guys meet? How did you guys start working together?
So Dalton introduced us Agamis because like I'm trying to think because Ian followed me for a while, but I never like talked to him because Ian followed like a bunch of people. Ian used to go by Cactus Jack under like his at used to be Kids See Ghost, and like he would always like my shit, but I never knew who the fuck he was. I'd be like, wow, this guy likes a lot of my shit, dude. That's crazy. But it wasn't until like Dalton created this like Discord chat that we didn't really like get to know each other. And one night they were just all freestyling in there, fucking around. And like I was just like I had just gone off the phone with this girl I was talking to. I was just like, fuck it, I'm kind of sad. I'm gonna get in the Discord because I don't really do Discord calls. And they're all freestyling over this fucking Jetto beat, the sample. It was just a guitar, and then I'm like, hibiscus flower, and
the hibiscus beat.
And the hibiscus beat. We were just freestyling dumb shit. I think like everyone left. It was just me, Ian, Jetto, saying our homie Fabian, Bass Life, and we were just talking for a while. I think it wasn't until like I made my album Bleachers that like Yang was the only person in the listening party for it, and that's how we really like started talking after that because he was like, "Yeah, I want to help you make music, like get better at this shit."
I remember I was like running around the Minecraft fountain, just freestyle. We were all freestyling the dumbest shit. I don't know who all was in the call. I forget. It was definitely Vase, Jed, maybe Dalton. I forget if Dalton was there. I think
Dalton was there. Dalton was there. They were there.
You were there, of course, and Sand was there. But I feel like somebody else was there. I can't remember who. But
someone else was definitely there, but I can't remember.
I don't think it was Kino, but for some reason I feel like it was Kino. But that shit was so goofy, bro. And I called you Numbmoi. And
correct name, right?
Bro, I was like, how do you say your name? And then it took me a bit, but I realized your name like from Twitter when you said it was like Heartbreak something. I forget what your old name was, which is bad because you remember Cactus Jack, but I was also shit posting on Twitter, so that's understandable. So yeah, he invited me to a listening party for Bleachers, and I popped in, and I was like, yeah, I'm interested. And so I listened to it, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this isn't just hip-hop. And I was just so impressed. I was like, nobody else is really doing this that I know of on hip-hop Twitter. I mean, there's people that obviously have branched out into other genres besides hip-hop, but, you know, not to really put a label on hip-hop Twitter, because obviously I do this myself. I mean, this is what Drowning Cycle was, but a lot of it is, like, abstract hip-hop. And when I heard that, I was like, dude, I don't know, like, what your whole process is. And sure, like, I'm not trying to sound pretentious when I said that, and he knows this. I was just like, if you ever need help with music or, like, anything in terms of, like, wanting to improve, because we're all, like, amateur musicians, and like, I have my own struggles with it as well. But I guess, in a sense, since I'm in, like, I have Sorrows behind me, the whole collective, it's like, I guess technically I'm more established, but I don't really see myself as like a better artist. But I was there to help him, and I was like, yeah, I'm down to do whatever. And then we made Wrists, and That's how.
Yeah. Rage was the birth of Forever Kohaku.
Yes.
Wow, that's actually insane. How you was just you two in the listening party. That's such a cool story. So
yeah.
you said the first song you guys made was that on the album? I'm sorry, I'm so trash with
No, it was on my album The Lake. It was the first to last track.
Got it. Okay, so then what was the first song you guys recorded for this project?
Bro, was it Warped Tour?
Was it Warped Tour? I think it might have been Warped Tour. I'm trying to think. I sent Ian like a shit ton of beats, and like we just kind of went from there.
It started because of the sea, and the sea was like one of the last.
Yeah,
that was like
the sea.
Okay.
The Sea should have been the first song recorded for it, because that was going to be some solo shit for me. But we just kind of forgot about that. And so I think I sent Ian this beat of Gingivitis, and Ian just recording some shit. He was like, I got bands and some drums, like it's Warped Tour. I'm like, holy fuck. So we just made a pop punk song over that. Then eventually I had to remake the beat. But yeah, I think that was the first one.
I'm pretty sure Warped Tour, like the Warped Tour that's on the project, I could be wrong. I don't know if it's fixed or not. But the Warped Tour that's on the project, I'm pretty sure is the beats. The beat was like at a slower BPM, so wanted to speed up the vocals. So it's kind of like a Quasimodo situation.
Yeah. Because I fucked up and made the new beat in the wrong BPM.
Bro. Speaking of that, like, I really loved, like, the Nightcore version. I feel like the tape was meant for Nightcore.
That shit was, like, perfect for Nightcore. And, like, it's funny because, like, the first song that we suggested was the first single. It was, like, Ian, like, yeah, let's make a song called Way Too High.
Yeah,
That was the first song that we, like, thought about making for it.
I was on vacation whenever I did that, and I don't even think it was supposed to be this many songs. Like
it's only supposed to be like 5 songs.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I was on vacation whenever that happened. I was in Annapolis, and I was like, I have this melody in my head. Do you want to make this a thing for the project? He was like, bet. That's honestly how it happened.
It seems like a very natural process, the creation of this project. Did you guys were like, after you made the first song, we were like, okay, we're going to do a full project? Or, well, you guys just said it was supposed to be only 5 songs, so what was that process like of just being like, okay, let's just keep going and see where this takes us?
So like, it's fun. We made Wrist, and I joked around with Ian, like, yeah, let's make an EP sometime. Ian's like, bet. And then, like, it was just, like, a joke for a little bit. Like, it wasn't anything serious. We were actually serious about it. But then one day, I went on a date with my girlfriend to this park in my city, and there's this koi fish pond in this, like, botanical gardens type place in there. We had their Polaroid, and we were just taking pictures, and we scanned it in my car, and it was the cover. The cover was the first Polaroid we scanned.
Wow.
I sent it to Ian. I'm like, holy fuck, this is fire. I sent it to Ian. I'm like, yo, if we do make an EP, this is going to be the cover. And then it just exploded from there, because now we had a cover, and we had to fit into this.
Yeah, it didn't even have a name until, like, kind of midway through, and I was like, let's just make our duo name Forever Kohaku, because we didn't want to force a name. And then I was like, Kohaku's a koi fish breed, and it's kind of like, I forget what it was supposed to be called at first, but it was I remember it being too, like, stylistically similar to how Mac Miller's last projects were, like, swimming in circles.
Yeah, the album was originally going to be called Forever Swimming. It took us about half an hour to come up with that. And then Ian's like, no, that's way too close to swimming. I'm like, yeah, I agree. It's a fire name, but it's like, it feels kind of like, off brand. And Ian was like, what about like Forever Kohaku? I just was like, yo, that's fucking fire.
Because a lot of the stuff like I'm influenced by is definitely anime inspired. So I just wanted something that kind of fit that aesthetic as well. And it just worked out.
So the concept of the project came from the album artwork, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's crazy, because it's such a cohesive project, and especially the the first track is more of like a spoken word. Did you write that with the picture in mind, Ian?
Bro, honestly, that song, that song isn't really even like. It's wild how like the influences per song are. My influences changed per song, if that makes sense. That was completely written as like I was listening to a lot of No Emotion Gold Mask, and I was like, I want to do something that's kind of like off kilter, not really because he raps in like a non sequitur style where it's like really off kilter. Like think TJX6, but like worse. Like he's just talking basically, and so I said I want to do something like that. So I wrote something serious over that beat. But yeah, I would say it was just inspired by the whole concept of the album and like swimming forever, trying to find solitude type of thing.
It's such an interesting process for how it was made. So when you were making the beats for Ian, was it like, okay, I'm making this for Ian, or like you said, you just kind of like had packs of beats that you were sending over to him?
It was a mix of both. Some of the songs up there were like really old fucking beats I had, like Moon Surfing. I made that beat in like late 2018, early 2019, and the process behind that beat was like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie the After Party on Netflix with like Kyle, but like I made that beat because I wanted to make something like the song at the end of it with Wiz Khalifa. That's how that beat was made. The original Warped Tour beat was super old. The C, I made it right before I dropped my album, The Lake. And then some of them I knew I was making it for the album, like
Sitcom.
Sitcom.
Do you want to go for that story?
Ian was fucking high as fuck, and he texts me on Twitter, "Can we sample a laugh track and make a song called Sitcom?" I'm like, "Dude, bet. When I get home, I got you." It's like I was listening to a lot of, like Baby Keem and fucking Sheck West in my car. I got home, I took a shower, and I freestyled the first couple lines, and like I knew that was gonna be Sitcom, so I went on YouTube, downloaded YouTube MP3 the laugh track, made a beat in the BPM of my freestyle, recorded it, and sent it all to Ian within that night.
That's so crazy.
If this album taught me anything, it's really I need to stop procrastinating.
Yeah, me too, because we had a deadline for October 31st, and we barely hit October 20th, finishing the album.
We kept adding bells and whistles to it, but like,
Yeah.
I'd say, bro, honestly, I seem to make that a habit whenever I'm finishing projects. Because Jennings' cycle was the same. We were like, oh, we got to finish this. Jed's about to leave for campus. And then, like, we, like, got it done the day of Jed leaving for campus. I'm pretty sure.
Wow. So, because going back to, like, what you're saying about the bells and whistles, is that talking about, like, the song structure and the different voice modification you guys were doing? Because they were kind of all over the project, and I thought it was really sick. Not whose idea was it? Or I guess that's a question. But, like, what was the process like of doing, the higher pitched vocals and all of that?
So, like, when we came in, like, I don't know, it just kind of started happening on accident. Like, we started making shit kind of 100 Gexy with, like, our own, like, twist on it, I guess you could say. The first song that, like, we really, like, Ian wanted shit, like, it was a lot of Ian telling me different things to do.
Because I can't produce, and I don't know I don't know how to do any of the vocal effects. So Joseph, like, knows how to do that, and I was basically just kind of, like, telling him what to do for my certain part. But yeah, you can continue, sorry.
Yeah, because, like, Let Me Down Gently was, like, the first song where he was like, yeah, I want something very specific done with this. And he wanted the vocals nightcore. So that's why the vocals in that song are mostly pitched up.
Okay.
I'd say a lot of it was inspired from my end. Yeah, definitely Gex. Definitely different nightcore things.
Played some pop punk shit too.
Yes. Some anime OPs were definitely in rotation, and I've been listening to a lot of like Echo 2K and 645 AR, and I've genuinely, like, I don't know, like, that shit's so fun to me. So I just want to push it as far as people aren't pushing it on hip hop Twitter.
Wow.
And I know everything's very DIY at the moment, and that's fine because like I've only spent like $250 on like my setup, and
Right.
but I can't think of like anybody else from like Wisconsin or West Virginia who's getting as much buzz as like we kind of respectively are, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest rapper in my city in Wyoming. I'm definitely I think I have the most like clout, for lack of a better word, outside of Wyoming because I just have so many connections outside of it.
That's kind of going back to what you said about like the internet earlier, Ryan, where it's like it just makes everything a lot easier because just none of these connections would have happened. I mean, we got a cosign, I don't know if it's cosign or not. Joseph can explain more because it's more from his end. But Sebi, who's someone we listen to, it's more like we're getting recognized by people that are friends with peers, and it's pretty cool. I mean,
it wasn't a cosign, but I'm now in contact with a producer for Sebi who's getting really fucking big on TikTok and shit. For it's like because he's really stylized, and that's like the new sound. I feel like me and Ian sort of fit into this weird like world of like the Sebbies and like the Charlie XCXs and Dylan Brady's and Laura Les's and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we do our own spin on it. That's really like pop punk, but like in its essence, also very close to like abstract rap.
Because that's basically what the C is. How's the C any different than like stuff that was on Drowning Cycle? It's like hip hop combined with whatever we want to do, pop punk, hyper punk. I just want to push as many genres as like we're able to and just keep improving.
Right, yeah, I definitely would agree with that. Like, basically, Forever Kohaku was us fucking around, just seeing what the fuck we could actually do and pull off successfully. I think we did a pretty good job at everything we tried. Mm-hmm. And everything that we need to improve on, like, we already have some more shit in the works. I feel like we're already getting closer to that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was genuinely surprised at some of the sounds you guys were able to touch on here. It was really impressive. Like I said, Warped Tour was crazy. I didn't expect that at all. Because especially when Ian tweeted out the link initially, or maybe it was for the pre-order, but he was just like, this is not a hip-hop album. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I was really excited to listen to it. And like you guys said, you touched on a lot of different stuff and it all turned out insanely good.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot too. That's dope as fuck.
And I just want to say, like, obviously we're still doing this on our own, so not everything's gonna be polished to the extent that it could be, and we're both new to all this. So it's like any support we get on doing stuff outside of just me, for example, just abstract hip hop is sincerely like thank you, because that lets me know that people are gonna support it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like I've always thought, like the reason why I think like I'm so like always pushing genres and like I'm so versatile in a sense is like I realized like my second year into making music, like I wasn't making the best shit ever, but I still got support on it. I'm like, no matter what the fuck you do, no matter how out of pocket or weird or strange you would consider it, there's always someone out there, some weirdo, some weird fuck that would love it. And you just gotta end up finding that person.
That's me. I'm the weird fuck.
645 Peaks to me.
Bro, that's a weird fuck, dude.
Yes. Bro, I am a weird fuck.
I'm definitely a weird fuck, too.
It's kind of wild because, like, whenever Drowning Cycle came out, I know this isn't, like, this touches on the same topic as, like, doing whatever we want. I was so worried because so many people in my town were like, he's going to drop, like, these trap bangers and everything, and people still liked it. And I was like, wow, that actually means so much to me because this shit could easily be interpreted as, like, what the fuck?
I feel that.
Right. Like, I feel like, yeah, I performed at my first performance recently. It was for the Battle of the Bands in my town. And I definitely was, like, the most unique artist there. But like just knowing that I got that crowd fucking moving with no hype, dude, was awesome.
That's probably a crazy feel. I can't imagine being able to, like, it's so insane when I go to concerts and I see, like, just to see people watching one man or one person, one artist, just, like, so fixated on just what they have to say. It's insane to me.
I love concerts, bro. A lot of this, in mine was just, on paper, I'd say a lot of it from my end, for sure, was influenced by I had that whole hyper pop like thing in my mind, and like I said, I'm very influenced by like just anime and media in general. So I'm thinking like, imagine I'm performing as like a Vocaloid or whatever, and I'm just thinking, like, especially for Warped Tour, you can tell for Warped Tour, it's evident that I'm like,
Warped Tour is probably the most like live experience I think we were able to capture.
I just go into songs kind of now thinking like, okay, I'm imagining that I'm on stage and like I'm, it's like a persona, I guess.
Right. I think about it in the same way too, because like sometimes you can listen to music and tell what they were going for. Like some beats you hear, you're like, oh, this kind of sounds kind of shitty on my phone because it's distorted, but like it's not supposed to be played on the phone. Like I imagine like the artist up there and the 808 like hitting you in your chest, I've been trying to like emulate that feeling more and more, like just being able to make something that sounds good both on like your PC or your computer and your headphones. But also imagine if you're on a stage and it bumps.
Do you think that, because you think you guys kind of put on a persona, do you think, I guess for, this is kind of a weird way to word it, but like kind of separating yourself when you're creating, do you think that helps you like take more risk, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of like, think of like an artist like, I don't know, Lil Ugly Mane or Madlib. They wouldn't be able to do, well, I mean, they would be able to do, but a lot of their stuff is masked in like a persona, and especially like MF Doom and stuff like that.
Right.
Like a lot of these artists have personas that really back up their music, and I don't know, I like doing that as well. I feel like it's easy to do, and it helps. Like clipping, bro.
Yeah.
Their last 2 albums are so crazy because
they're so good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, clipping's insane. I feel that. But I want to talk about the production for one minute, because we're talking about like Warped Tour, and I think there's another song that's like looking at what's it called? Staring at the So I Stared at the Sky.
So I Stared at the Sky. Yeah.
Those are kind of both guitar driven instrumentals. Is that live guitar, or how are you or those like loops? How are you recording that guitar?
So Warped Tour was this like this guitar loop I found like forever ago on Looperman, and like I flipped it into this beat, and it's just like I love the like punk like driven guitar of it. But for So I Stared at the Sky, what happened was it was my last breakup the next day, and like I just need to get all that shit out, so I picked up my ukulele. I just started recording it. So I recorded the ukulele for So I Stared at the Sky, and I distorted the fuck out of it, which is like, I made a whole beat out of it. And honestly, I recorded a whole song over it. I just threw in the vaults because it was just to, deal with these difficult emotions. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until like a couple weeks ago that like I was just like, maybe Ian would fuck with this. So I just sent it to him, and then Ian wrote the whole song to it.
That's crazy. Ian, how would you say you approached the writing of this project compared to the project you did with Jettos earlier?
Definitely with the whole persona thing. I would say I kept that in mind in the sense that I could basically, I don't know how to word this correctly. So basically, I did the abstract stuff before, and I was like, okay, I proved to people that I can do that, and they enjoyed that. So I was like, I'm just going to do the whole persona that all of the mainstream trap artists are really doing right now. Mm-hmm. That are pushing like the whole emo trap narrative, if you want to call it that. And it's like, write catchy things and just do the whole rock star persona. And it's like, I can do that too, because it's not to sound like I'm hopping on a trend or anything, but I'm saying it's fun to do. So
yeah, it's fun. It's like fun to poke it's like fun to poke at it. Like I definitely followed Ian's lead writing this album because Ian just brought this energy, and usually like all my other shit's real personal and like depressive, but like for this one I'm like I need something that I could, you know, just go crazy on, not giving a fuck even if it's depressing.
Yeah.
It's just like, and like, so like I didn't really put on a persona, I just kind of upped the ante a little bit for myself. I kind of upped my more chaotic side and toned down my more depressive side, you know, and just wrote from that standpoint.
I think for my end, I think a lot of it was just, you know, like I said, I don't want to make it sound like it's me wave writing or anything. It's just like I've tried to do a lot of different styles before, and before I was really even comfortable releasing any music, I've always been like, dude, what lane do I even want to do? What lane are people going to like from me? And I was like, fuck it. I've done the abstract hip hop thing, so people enjoyed that a lot, and now I can write a catchy song, so I'm going to write a catchy song. And that's basically all it was for me. And a lot of the writing was, outside of a few songs, they were punch in each bar type of freestyles.
Yeah, like some DaBaby shit. It was awesome to get those vocals in. Because it sounded nothing like Ian had ever done before that I heard, that he's released publicly. So I heard it. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that's what it's, like I said, it just wasn't expected, because it sounds nothing like something in the water. And
Yeah.
it's that's why I was so interested in the songwriting process. What else did I say?
It was definitely fun for sure. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you
This
could.
was super fun to make.
Yeah, it seemed like you guys had a lot of, because like I said, it's just so, you know, experimental in terms of like what I've heard from you guys before, if that makes sense. I don't know if it's like experimental in like the realm of everything else, but like it's definitely nothing I've heard from anything you guys have put out before.
Bro, Drowning Don't Leave is like a straight up, that's not even like a hip hop song, I would say.
No, it's just straight up like indie-ish.
That reminded me of like surf rock.
That's a great song. I like that one. That's one of my favorites, honestly.
I appreciate that. Joseph.
Yeah, that one was so awesome to fucking make. Yeah, that beat was awesome to make because I was just like, okay, well, obviously we keep getting more and more out of the hip hop, you know, like more and more out of hip hop, and we're just moving towards this weird like alternative genre with no name for it. So I just went full fucking indie on it.
Yeah,
I can't wait to do like more established hyperpop. Like we touched on hyperpop, but I mean like the more music it gets, dude.
Like I'm in contact with you. I'm trying to get in contact with hyperpop producers, you know, like I don't mind buying a beat, you know, not having me be the only producer on the album if it means we can explore more, you know, genres.
And not only just us, I mean like there's a bunch of people like Grump Fairy on Twitter who's now doing music and now influenced by like hyperpop and everything. And Yusuf from Stars is making hyperpop beats now. So
to me, like, I feel like hyperpop is like the new scene. Because I remember like 10 years ago, the scene kids, you know, it was pop punk. But to me, hyperpop is like the next step into that. Because like hyperpop is truly a genre. It's just a loose collective of this sound that's like very obviously influenced by like pop punk with like a hip hop, you know, like it's just the natural next step in my mind from like this post hardcore rock shit, this pop punk shit, this emo trap shit that like Lil Peep really popularized, you know, it's just like the logical next step.
And it even gets heightened because Drain Gang's probably at their most.
Yeah, Drain Gang is probably Drain Gang's getting to that too. Like Young Way's new album definitely had some songs touching on it.
Their influence is really showing with a lot of, I don't even know, like Reptilian Club Boys and just PC music rising in general. I wouldn't say PC music,
PC music isn't like, it's not popular, but it's like that label definitely like really founded this sound, like it's at the roots thing.
Yeah. Drain Gang and PC music for sure. Like helped a lot of the current internet scene, I'd say, like what we're seeing right now.
But You guys are gonna have to send me some of this stuff you're talking, because I've heard of Drain Gang, but I don't think I've ever listened to like anything from them.
Cool, but I definitely got you in the Twitter DMs after this.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm always looking for new songs, especially because of its influence in what you guys are making. I'm definitely interested in it because I love that stuff. But you guys are because sounds like it was really fun to make the project, but I was interested because it was done all online. Do you think it would have turned out any different if it was recorded in person? Like you guys would have found one pocket and kind of stayed in it, or do you think it still would have been as a wide range of sounds as it turned out to be?
I think like it's difficult to think about because like one of the reasons why this shit was so fucking like all over the place, or being thematically cohesive in a way, was because I sent Ian all these fucking packs of beats just because like I've made a crazy amount of beats I just have on my Google Drive. I just kept sending Ian these beats. I don't know if we had to do all this shit through a screen, if like we would have like found out that we could do all this genre shit. I think like this album kind of had to be made on PC to figure out if we could do all this shit. But I definitely would like to someday make an album like this in person with Ian.
Yeah. I'm gonna attack it from a different angle. I would say that, yeah, I do think this would still be possible in person for sure. I would say though, in person, this is a very good start for us expanding ourselves. But in person, I feel like it wouldn't just have to be like a week thing, if you know what I mean. If like Joseph and I were to meet up and it's like, oh, we got to record for a week type of thing. Like
we won't have to have as much time to fuck around because we were working on this since August.
Yeah. So like, I just feel like if we were to do this in person, not only would it probably be even more, polished for sure, but who knows what the stories would have been, because me and him have so many stories from working on this project that are just ridiculous, like the whole sitcom thing. And
right, it's just fucking, it's comical how this album was made.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was so fun.
Yeah, like moon surfing, the intro to it, I was in the car with my homie Jed after work. Not Jeddo, it's my homie Jed. I got a homie named Jed. And Ian, we were just like on the phone talking about moon surfing in the car, and Ian started talking. He was like, what if we just freestyle over it? So that's what that little intro is. That's all filtered. It's just me freestyling. Yeah, it's just me freestyling, driving, while rapping about what I see. Like I say, there's a cat, it's black as shit. Like, because there was a cat in front of me that was super dark.
That's insane. Yeah, like the stories behind this, I feel like are so funny. They're kind of the geek. I think it really shows in the project, honestly, the way it's all, like I said, the song structure is very playful in a sense and all of that. I think it's really showing. I think you can just tell that it's just a natural chemistry, honestly.
I appreciate that. That means a lot, especially, like I said, it helps knowing, like, the risk paid off of not doing what people typically know you for. And a lot of it was great, too, because obviously we're not the biggest, and whatever platform I can help to like keep pushing my friends, because Saros is starting to get traction, which is crazy to think about. I'm gonna do it because I don't know, Jackie, Janice, dude, Joseph, they've all like surprised me with the stuff they've put out recently, and it's like I need to keep pushing them.
Yeah, it's just like crazy because like it's crazy to me too that like we were able to release this on Saros, because this is nothing like anything else on Saros.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no. Like I'd say
like Saros makes great fucking music, but everyone's still there's experimentation here and there, but usually they stick to that abstract hip hop sound still with their own twists on it. And so for us to come in there and drop this fucking like weird emo pop punk rap album on their fucking through the collective, it's crazy.
I'm very grateful that we were able to.
Yeah, me too.
It could have easily been like a firm no from like say an actual label, but still technically we're all independent. We just have kind of a label, if that makes sense. We're just not getting paid. But I don't care, honestly. Just like
Right. The
It's
money
not
would
that
be nice, but I do this shit for the love of the music, you know?
exactly. That I would say, Saros definitely isn't like a label, but I don't know. It kind of feels like somewhere that's great to fit in right now.
Right. Yeah, it is a crazy thing that you guys have going on with Solace, because like you said, you guys have just been on like a complete tear this year,
Yeah,
honestly, just releasing a shit ton of really great stuff. It's insane.
yeah, I appreciate that. It's just like it's weird because now there's so many of us that we're just all kind of active, so I don't really have to do much from my end. And when it was 4 people, I mean, it was still kind of like that, but obviously the less people, the more involved you kind of have to be with everybody.
But
And there's just so many people in there now that everybody's always busy, so you don't really have to stress about pushing a project out or anything.
Right. Like, I remember when, like, Saros first joined in, like, the Discord chat. Like, oh, fuck, they got collected now? What? Because it was, like, right after Paradigm Shift dropped, right? That Saros, like, formed.
I think it was right after, or maybe right before Paradigm Shift. Definitely after Baby Steps.
Yeah, it was after Baby Steps. It was just crazy, like, seeing all these people, like, online form something like that.
And, I mean, Dalton really put all of us on, so I'm just happy.
Dalton is like the demigod of, like, Twitter.
You know how Groovy's bio says hip hop Twitter's music dad or music Twitter's dad?
Yeah, Dalton's like the mom.
Yeah.
they're like the mom of Twitter, definitely music Twitter. Because, like, I remember I was so hyped when Dalton followed me back on their second account. I was like, oh shit, I got the Agamis follow back. Agamis seems so fucking cool, dude. And, like, I hit them up. I sent them a couple beats. And that's basically how I got in with all these people.
It's kind of wild that, like, one thing that I don't think I told you about Ryan in, like, our initial interview is people that, I think the first time I talked to Jackie didn't even think I was going to respond, I think. I'm pretty sure it was Jackie. If, like, I remember correctly. Jackie didn't even think I was going to respond, and I sent him like, a whole paragraph, and it was just how to help with music. And now Jackie and I are, like, best friends, and he's one of my favorite people on hip-hop Twitter.
Yeah, so, Jackie's so tight.
Dude, it's wild that people think of me as, I guess, the SARS connection helps. I don't see myself in this way at all, but, like, people see me as, like, not celebrity, but, I don't know, a higher status just because...
You're like a fucking, like, F-list celebrity.
I'm a Z-list celebrity.
Yeah, the Z-list celebrities.
But, like, I appreciate the, I don't know, the sentiment, but, bro, I'm a person type of thing. It's like, if I really cared who I worked with, I wouldn't, you know, be on hip-hop Twitter. And I just love pushing my friends. So, I don't really... That's the one thing that scares me about, like, the industry is being pushed away from the people that brought you up.
Right, me too. Like, it happened to a pro era, and it's, like, fucking terrifying to think that could happen. You could put your whole team on, and then the industry could rip you apart.
And that's a lot of the reason why Steez is not here anymore, so.
Yeah.
It's a scary place. I've, like, just come from going to school with some of the kids who want to work there, and, like, these kids don't even listen to songs like that. Like, I was, like...
They just care about money.
It's not even, like, this one kid...
Cutthroat.
This one kid, they were like, what do you want to do in the music industry? He's like, I want to own my own sports team like Jay-Z. And I'm like, I don't think that's how it works. Like, aim high for sure, but, like, I think you can start somewhere else if you just want to own the New York Jets. Like, there's other industries you should get into.
Bro, that's a high goal to set. Jay-Z's literally at the point where he can do whatever the fuck he wants when it comes
Jay-Z's like, dude, Jay-Z, I feel like there's a couple rappers who have just beat rap, and now they're just fucking around for the rest of their careers. Like,
Kanye.
Jay-Z is one of them. Kanye. Drake is definitely one of them, too.
Diddy for sure.
If
you have over $1 million and you're still in rap, you've made it past just rapping.
50 Cent is the definition of fuck you, monkey.
Yeah.
50 cents. But all he does is just, like, post, like, memes on Instagram and, like, make fun of other people. Like, that's how much money he has. He doesn't have to do shit. He makes power and then tweets about it.
I love the tweets that are like, every day 50 Cent shows me why someone shot this dude 9 times.
Oh my god.
That's insane.
Like aim high, don't give up on your dreams, but bro, there's a reason why 50 Cent, or not 50 Cent, there's a reason why Jay-Z's in that position.
It's insane. Yeah, no, the industry's a terrifying place. And even just at this, I'm working at this little internship now, and it's just like some of the people I meet going like through the buildings and stuff like that are just like so strange and just so like weird. Like I tried, some guy came up to me and he said he owns a hip-hop karaoke bar, and I'm like, that sounds weird. I was like, I sound like somewhere I want to hang out at. And
it sounds like, I feel like that would be like that video of the white dude covering like, I forget what it is. It's either Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With or Protect Your Neck.
Oh my
It's like the white dude playing the guitar and Wu-Tang posted it. He's just saying the N-word and rapping every word.
That's what
I feel like the hip-hop karaoke bar would be like that.
That was my first thought. I was like, how many white people have said the N-word in your establishment, and at what point did you stop reprimanding them? Because I feel like there's no way it's not happening.
Bro,
there's no way that's not your main consumer base.
Exactly, bro. It was so... And then he was just like, well, do you know any songs word for word? And I was like, yeah, a couple. Like, what the hell do you mean? Of course I do. And then he was just like, well, do one right now. I was like, I'm not rapping for you in the middle of this, like, fucking building, bro. Calm down. And then
that's fucking weird, dog.
He was just like, well, who do you listen to? And I was like, I've been listening to a lot of Lil Uzi Vert. And he's like, who? And I'm like, what? I was like, you own a hip-hop, quote-unquote hip-hop bar, but you don't, like, you never heard EXO Tour Life? Like, stop it. Like, you sound silly right now.
I feel like that's another thing in terms of, like, the generational gap thing I was talking about, but Uzi's so mainstream that I don't know how you don't hear of him, especially with the rock. If you're in the industry of hip-hop business, then I don't know how you don't hear the whole Rock Nation case with him and DJ Drama.
Exactly, there's that, and then also, EXO Tour Life was, like, the best-selling single of 2017. Like, it sold, like, over a billion copies. Like, it was number one on the Billboard for, like, 6 months. And it's like, even if you're not, like, I understand, like, not everyone's into the same music I am, and there's a generational gap, but if you're working in the industry, and someone's charting that much, and you just slipped your mind, it's like, oh, okay, like, how much are you really... like, paying attention, you know what I mean? Like, to each their own, but come on.
Like EXO Tour Life's the reason Drake didn't have a summer hit in 2017. Like, that song was fucking huge. I remember when it first dropped, like, this is fire, and no one heard of it. Then it blew up. I'm like, damn.
Like, sure, if you argue someone like Designer, like, if you don't know who Designer is,
right,
even though he had a number one hit, I can get that because Designer had the one hit. Or maybe if you don't know Lil Uzi by name. But Uzi is
Lil Uzi Vert's not the one-hit wonder at all.
Yeah. Uzi's so consistent with how he charts
that
if you don't know his name and you're in hip-hop business, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I always like to say that, like... You go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, I was like, that's the type of dude that's, like, looking for the new Joel Ortiz album.
Yeah.
The new Jim Jones album, bro.
New Bubba Sparks album.
Bro, you can get that new Paul Wall album.
Bro, I heard Mike Jones might make an album.
Oh my god.
It's insane. But yeah, I always like to think that, like, music business is kind of made up. Because, like, you can't really, like, the people in the music business... they're just like, you can't, like, it's called the music business because it's a business. And I was like, yeah, but without the music, you don't have a business. So why are you trying to, like disrespect it?
Artists aren't in the business most of the time.
Right.
Like, artists who make it into the business are very fucking, lucky.
Yeah.
Because, like, the business is meant to fuck over artists in the way it's set up, I feel like.
No, you're exactly right.
So, like, when these artists can do so much big shit while being independent, like Jing Dawson, for example, just dropped his new album, has a little, not Uzi Vert, sorry, A$AP Rocky feature. He's fucking angry at charts. I don't know if it charted, like, it got fucking a lot of play. And he's completely independent still. It's fucking crazy. and I want to like be able to do that at some point.
Would you say that's like the goal? I'm sorry not to cut you off, but would you say that's the goal to like have a big enough buzz, but this is your only job? But like any bigger than that, it's just kind of, it just comes with the territory in a way.
Yeah, I'd say so. What I want to be able to do off of music is be able to buy a house, not buy a house, but buy my family a house in a city they want living, and be able to live comfortably while also being able to do what I love without it becoming, like a job where like I have to fit into this label standards and all this shit,
Mm-hmm.
like all that extra shit. I just want to be able to live comfortably, middle class off of music.
I feel that.
I'd say for me, my goal with the music is probably to do something like, I don't know, Quelle Chris or Billy Woods, I'd say. That's the more realistic goal in the sense that if I make money from it, that's really cool. If I'm able to balance it while having like a practical profession, because I just decided that I wanted to do like veterinarian stuff. I would love to make money from that as well as having a life and balancing that. But I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket and be like, yeah, I can definitely do mainstream stuff if I were given the opportunity, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Because there's something about that, yeah, that's pretty cool. It would be cool to be on like a record thing, but I would know I would get fucked over. And I think I can write stuff that rivals mainstream hip hop because like the bar is not that high. And I've wrote a lot of things that I'm like, yeah, this definitely sounds like a melody that could have came from, I don't know, radio rap or something. But there's a lot of like cons to that to me because, like you said, it's meant to help the artist and it can fuck over the artist, but it can also benefit the artist and fuck over like middlemen. Like if I were to be like a ghostwriter or something for like a catchy thing, it's like I have to sign a lot of NDAs or whatever. And it's like, what's the point then? Yeah, I'm getting paid a lot, but like, what's the point then?
Right, because it's like you're not really creating anymore. You're just in the business.
Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword for sure, but I don't know. It's definitely a temptation. Won't lie about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the goal for me is just to be sustainable in some form.
I feel that. I think that's great. Because you talked about how you were high when you came up with the idea for sitcom, and there's a couple other like drug references on the project. How do you think like weed and other because I think you talk about having a tab on your tongue in one of the songs too. How do those drugs play into your creative process if they do at all?
I would say I don't think Joseph does anything, honestly. So I don't know if he can answer that question.
Yeah, I used to drink a little bit, but I don't do that anymore. The most I've done is like nicotine at this point. I'm still trying to quit that. So like I'm like a good kid. The only drugs I take are my antidepressants.
I'd say in the sense of me doing it, weed's chill, but weed can definitely be a crutch if you use it as a crutch. I don't really like using it as a crutch. I feel like that's a good time to take like a tolerance break whenever you start to feel that you're like depressed a little bit and you're like, all right, I need to get my bearings straight type of shit. Acid's cool. Acid, I don't know. I just feel way too fucked up whenever I do that. So I just haven't really touched it since I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
But music, in terms of being creative, not all the time does it work the way that people think it would. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time, it just helps me procrastinate more.
Yeah, like people are always like, I can't like write a song unless I'm stoned. That's like crazy to me because when I'm stoned, yeah, I get good ideas, but like you don't have like the fucking
the drive all the time.
Yeah, you don't have the drive to fucking follow them because you're just high and you just rather lay in bed,
Right.
I mean, it can definitely be a pro if
that's me at least. I know not everyone's like that, but that's just how I am off of it.
I just knocked my headphones off my head. I will say a lot of people, like, I don't really care about the difference between, like, sativa and indica, but a lot of the times I know what the difference is. If it's indica, I'm out, bro. There's no waking me up or whatever. I'm being lazy. If it's sativa, then I can be, like, productive. But I know it's indica if I don't want to do anything.
Right.
Like, I can push myself, but it's really just, like, a catch-22 type shit where, yeah, it can either go one of two ways. I'm not getting shit done, or I'm getting a lot of shit done. So I typically like to do the process sober, and then do like high tests to it because, that's always fun, listening to music while like, I don't know if you smoke at all, but like, it's definitely an experience. Just,
Yeah, music's fun to listen to while high.
I don't drink much at all. I actually only drank for like the first time in a while because I was at a wedding recently.
Okay.
But no, weed's the preference.
For sure. I know exactly what you mean when you're talking about listening to it high, because I used to go, when I lived in Florida, I used to go to the record store, and then on my way back, stop by my friend's house, and,
Yeah.
and scoop some stuff up, and then go home and just listen to the records and enjoy myself.
That's
I know
tight.
exactly what you mean. Yeah, Florida was crazy. But
That's dope, bro.
what's next for you guys? What's because you said, did you want to do more of this stuff, or you want to try different genres, or?
I'll let Joseph answer that first since he has like more definite. I know what he's doing next.
Yeah, so what I'm doing next, I want to make an album that's like, it's still going to be like me, but it's going to be more like indie-ish, like more like songwriting rather than rapping,
Right.
because I want to try to I want to express myself in as few words as possible. I think like a good way to try to do that would try to write, like these songs that are just like a verse, you sing a verse, 4 bars, a hook, 4 bars, pre-hook, shit like that. What's also next for me is I want to produce for more people. Like I've already like hit up other people to produce for. I'm producing for a music homie MD. Me and Jackie probably got some shit in the works. I sent Grub Fairy a couple beats. She fucked with them, so she might use them. I just want to, just make more music. Honestly, I want to make Forever Kohaku too.
That'd be dope.
That'd be dope. I don't know how far away that is. Probably next year.
Yeah,
Honestly,
probably
early next year. So yeah, I just want to do more shit creatively and just try to get myself out there as much as possible, and do what Ian's done with me and just try with these little guys and then try to get with the people I idolize personally, not idolize, but music I fuck with a lot,
Yeah.
hopefully be able to make a song with them,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even like. I don't know. A lot of the cool things I've said about, I don't know, music Twitter can be toxic sometimes. Like a lot of the time.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
And I think what helps is just actually not caring about the drama that's going on, and just like, I don't know. I wouldn't even consider them like little guys anymore, just because they're people I know now very well. But like,
Right.
I didn't know Joseph that well. I was a mutual, but getting to know your mutuals definitely helps with not only just being a nicer person, but expanding like your music. Like, I don't know.
It's always awesome to get to know these people online that follow you, in my opinion. Like, it's always cool because you're like, oh, now we actually know each other.
Yeah. But like, I guess in terms of what's in the future for me, I don't really have a definitive answer. I was planning on taking a little bit of a break after this, but I don't really know if I feel that way now because I'm not as like burnt out anymore. I'd say there's a new motivation now that this project's out there, and right now I'm just gonna drop like weekly singles on streaming. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
We dropped I Love Scene Girls on the
that's like
bonus.
that's probably gonna be on Forever Kohaku too, if not my own like EP. Is I Love Scene Girls. That's our newest song. I think honestly, me personally, I'm very proud of it. I honestly think it might be even better than anything we did on Forever Kohaku.
Wow.
The C though. And also Hark. Hello. Nah, that is fighting words right there. But that's a pretty good song. We made that in like one night. I was just like, yeah, let's make a song right here.
Yeah, we're like, we need something for the deluxe version. We just did it.
So we put Riss on it, and we put the demo of Pisces on there, which was, I didn't even know that was a thing until I was, like, uploading the album to DistroKid, and I was like, alright, I found Pisces, because Pisces is just an instrumental, and
yeah, it's called I Have to Accept It's Okay, or something like that.
Yeah. So I download the file, and I listen to it to make sure all the files are right, and Joseph starts, like, doing a poem over it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this file that he sent me? So we threw that on the deluxe as well as like the other instrumentals. But I'd say what's on like in the future for me, I just want to keep dropping like weekly singles. A lot of people say that the best way to put your music out is just drop more music. So
yeah, definitely. That's what I've been hearing for like the last like 4 years from people on SoundCloud is like if you don't keep dropping shit, people are gonna forget about you.
Yeah, and I just wanna. I fantasize about getting some type of notoriety, and I think that I'm able to do that, but you gotta start somewhere, and I gotta keep pushing myself. That's basically what's on the edge for me, is just keep coming up with, like, more, I guess, mainstream stuff, and at the same time, just keep pushing myself to stuff that's not mainstream. Just give people a variety.
That's awesome. This interview was fire. I think it turned out super well. I appreciate you guys coming on. Congrats on the project.
Thank you.
It's unbelievable. The
Thank
project,
you,
it turned
bro,
out
for
really
real.
dope.
I appreciate the fuck out of this.
Thank you again for the time.
No, of course, man. I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you so much.
Use the album artwork for like photos and stuff like that, or if you have something different in mind, you guys can just send it over. I'll work with it.
Joseph has
we got a lot of pictures from Minecraft that we were like, let's use this as press photos, like we're 100 gex or something.
Yeah, I fuck with the vision. I will for sure do that.
But text me your email, I'll send those through.
I got you.
Thank you again. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate this a lot.
No, I mean, it's like
be able to talk about it.
Yeah, it's like you guys are saying, where it's crazy how people are like shocked that they respond to you, but it's crazy to me that people like you guys reach out and are like, we want to talk to you about this, and it's like an honor. Honestly, I think it's really sick.
Right. No, that's like how I've always been, dude. Like, I reach out to everybody, even if I know they won't respond.
Right.
I'm just like, bro, it's just tight as fuck. Like, I just reach out.
Honestly, like, there's people, I never thought I would be friends with No Emotion, and I just reached out to him, and he's one of my favorite artists ever. And now,
yeah, like, I'm friends with J Squared and London O'Connor, and those are two of my favorite fucking artists ever, and I talk to them sometimes. It's awesome.
Yeah. No Emotion were like, he invites me to his Discord all the time, and he's like, yo, we're doing a call, you want to join? And, I mean, he modded me in his YouTube channel, so, I mean,
wow.
Just reach out to people, and not only that, just, like, don't forget where you came from is what I would say to people. Because,
I always do.
Yes, because, like, even though I have, like, dreams of being successful from it, it's like, I don't want to leave behind the people, like you said, like, I know you say it's an honor that we reached out to you. We need platforms, like, not just for us, but, like, it's kind of like a mutual relationship with everybody.
I think, me personally, I think there needs to be much more independent shit in the music industry, independent reviewers, independent artists, independent, people like you, independent interviewers, shit like this, that just have their own brand where they try to, get as much shit possible. Like, one of my favorite vlogs is called Sophie's Floorboard. It's like that. They're like, they have no, like, connection to a label or anything. It's just this person who will post their favorite albums on there and be like, yeah, this shit's fire, check it out.
And too many people on hip-hop or, like, music Twitter are just, like, negative as hell. So if we can, like, avoid all that, then right, do whatever you want to do. Make whatever you want to make.
Yeah, because I started off doing the reviews, but then, like, halfway through writing one review, I was just like, oh, I don't think I have any idea what I'm actually talking about. Like, I've never tried to, like, write a song. I've never made a beat before. Like, I have no, like, I'm sitting here, like, I never put out a bad review, because, like, that's just a waste of everyone's time. Like, why would I sit there and listen to something I don't like, and then write about how I don't like it, and then put it up so, like, other people can not like it? Like, that's just dumb. But
Yeah,
like
right.
even like when I'm like starting writing about how I like a song, I just become repetitive because I'm like, this sounds good, and I like how that one sounds too. Like I just have no fucking idea like anything about music theory or how any of it is created. So that's why I like interviewing, because it just lets people like you talk about it.
exactly.
I'll be real too, bro. I know fucking nothing about music either. I taught myself all this shit, dude. I barely know music theory. And like ultimately that's what music is at the end of the day. It's just an expression of oneself that fucking it sounds good.
Right.
I've realized that there's a lot of people that are just trying to be another Fantano on music Twitter, and I was like, I did that, and it's like I'm ranking all these projects, and I feel stressed that I am trying to catch up on this project, and I'm not, listening to as much as these people, and it's like, bro, what's the point of doing that whenever it's like everybody else is doing that? So, I mean, nothing against everybody that still reviews stuff, but it's like, I just typically enjoy what I hear. So me putting together all these lists of what I don't like and what I like and trying to rank something, it was all pointless to me. And I was like,
Topsters are fucking weird to me. How the fuck do you have like a 50th favorite album? And how the fuck do you have like how do you rank it? Like I listen to so much music, I could never truly rank all my favorite shit.
I think it was a Schoolboy Q tweet where he was just like, you guys are weird, why do you have a 37th favorite rapper or some shit like that? And I thought that was hilarious.
Or like the Earl tweet where he's like, what the fuck do y'all do on hip-hop Twitter? You just talk about, I like this, and then I don't like this, and that's your culture.
it's so, I just can't, because I just go on, and like, I guess I technically am. I never
reintroduced fucking Earl to hip-hop Twitter.
Bro, if he
I'm trying to remember who. It was definitely someone like we're mutuals with.
I think it was probably Groovy, because Groovy does not like some rap songs. Or it was that person who said, I think it was that person who said that Earl's better than Wu-Tang Clan. I think it was Khalil.
Earl's better than me.
And then Earl was like, nah, this ain't it, or whatever. I think it was Khalil.
Who knows, man? Did Twitter... I guess I never thought of myself a part of music Twitter, but I guess I am, technically. Because I talk about songs and I'm on Twitter, so I guess that's really the criteria.
That's how I see it, because like I don't really interact or rate music or any of this shit. Sometimes I share a song I like, I share my music, I shitpost. And like I guess in essence I'm on music Twitter.
Yeah. And in layman's terms, I would say, I was like definitely born from music Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be here in the same capacity without it. But at the same time, I don't want to put myself in a box. I just use it as a platform for anything I have to say, shit post or not. It's what I do.
Yeah, I don't post shit unless it's an interview, really. Or like I'm just like responding to somebody, but like I'm so trash at social media. Even my like personal Instagram has like one photo on it. Like I'm not a social media guy.
Social media is hard, dude, especially if you're not into it, because you realize like this shit's pointless at the end of the day. Because like I try to at least be engaging, like on my Instagram and shit, but it's like it doesn't matter at the end of the day. People are still just gonna fucking scroll over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a weird thing, but it's weird how important it is to, not to some people, but how important it's become to like if you want to start a business.
Culture.
Yeah, it's
like our culture is like it lives on social media now.
Mm-hmm. Especially because we're in a, what are you gonna say? We're in a panoramic, so not
we're in the middle of a global panoramic.
Yeah, it's like the only way to really talk to people now.
Exactly.
If you're like being safe.
Oh, whoops, I just turned my bop in. I don't know if you
I did hear pop it.
I brushed over this. That's the track that didn't make it on the album. We had this song called Erica Badu.
Oh,
crap.
It was just, I made this beat fucking random, like, Ian, if we just fucking screamed Erica Badu over it.
It was inspired by Lil Pig.
Yeah, Ian took it way too far. I just get this fucking email at like 3 a.m. I listen to it. It's just him screaming with this bop it in the background.
And the easy button in my taser.
Yeah, that was easy. I just said, that was easy. Yo, hey.
Imagine like Lil B blown out like beat, just yelling, and then like I was doing 645 AR vocals on it.
That sounds gas. I think it's.
And I still had to record over it. I just gave up. Like, I'm not recording over this. There's no way I could mix this.
And have it sound good. That's basically what anything we are doing is now. It's just doing whatever we want because somewhere someone's gonna like it.
But
Yeah.
Like, I fuck with, like, Merzbow and everything, but if you can listen to, like, Merzbow, yeah, people like anything, so. Like, if you can sit through it.
Noise music is a successful genre, so people really don't give a fuck.
Yeah, if you like it, you like it, so I'm gonna drop it regardless.
mm-hmm.
That's my motivator.
Yeah, I think we need that Erica Badu track though. That shit sounds hard as hell.
I'll try mixing it. Honestly, I'll try mixing it. Look up it. Be like XXX Erica, XXX Badu for 2069XX.
Bro.
Or just don't mix it. Just put it out and just let it like fuck
I was
everybody's
thinking
speakers.
about that. Like, bring it under the deluxe version, just raw as fuck.
Untitled, unmastered.
Yeah, I'll get Kendrick shit.
Oh. So I guess this is it.
Yeah, I was
What's all
about to
come
say.
down to? We're in the middle of a global panoramic.
Panoramic. You know.
I'm
Oh,
looking
Ghana.
for something so I can say my final words.
Cabronga virus, bruh. Cabronga virus. That's what my grandma calls it.
I'm in a bandemic.
I'm pretty sure cabron. Isn't your grandmother Spanish?
Yeah, she's Indian and Spanish. She's like,
Cabron is the swear, right? Cabron.
I've gone cussed out so many times. Like, pinche pendejo cabron, you know, shit like that.
Maricon. Yeah, nah.
Very is very offensive.
Yes. I think I know what my final words are gonna be.
Oh yeah.
Look at my mask, it's golden. Don't ask, who am I? No emotion. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out Joseph.
That was easy.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. I can't end it any better.
I've been recording the whole time, so I'll put that in there for sure. I didn't stop recording.
That. All right. Good night, Ryan. Get some fucking rest, bro.
Alright, I'll talk to y'all soon, okay?
Peace.
All right. Peace out, bro. I'll
Alright.
definitely text you the photos and some new shit.
Yeah, I got you,
Too,
for
so.
sure. I appreciate it.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it too, bro. Peace out, bro. Good night.
Talk to y'all soon.
Peace.